Hi everyone, for tonight's Nightcap and review, I'm having an adult beverage, and tonight I'll be discussing An Offer from a Gentleman by Julia Quinn. This is already on my Kindle, so it does satisfy one of my 2026 reading goals of clearing some books off of my Kindle TBR. Of course, I'm giving my honest opinion. These are the highlights, and there are no listed content warnings, and I'm giving this book a 4.75. I really enjoyed it, and I can't wait to talk about it, but first, what's this book about? So, this book is about Sophie, who is looking to escape her life for just one night. As the bastard child of an earl, she knows that she will never have a place among the peerage. So, she's just looking for one magical night, and what better place than a masquerade? And come dawn, she will go back to her life as a lady's maid to her evil stepmother. As she enters the ball as the mysterious woman in silver, she ends up catching the eye of none other than Benedict Bridgerton, the second born son of the wildly popular Bridgerton family. Captivated by this woman, he coaxes her into a dance where the connection between the two of them is instantaneous, and he does not want this night to end. But then the clock strikes midnight and she slips through his fingers, and he doesn't know her name or what she looks like without her mask. But he's determined to find her. Unfortunately, time passes and soon it's years later. But the mark the woman in silver left on him still has him searching for her. That is until one night when he rescues a housemaid named Sophie from some men with some ill intention, and the connection he feels to her reminds him of that connection that one night long ago. And as they spend time together, that connection actually starts to deepen to where he starts to feel as if he's betraying the woman in silver. But with the difference in their stations, he knows nothing respectable can come from it. But maybe if he takes a chance and lets go of the past, he could end up having his happily ever after. So, what are my thoughts? Again, I'm giving this a 4.75. I had a lot of fun reading this. Now, I did choose to read this because of Netflix's upcoming season of Bridgerton, which is going to focus on Benedict's story. So, I did want to read his book so I could understand the source material and compare the two. Now, this book is inspired by Cinderella, and I think Julia's writings really brought that to life. It was very well done and incorporated into her plot line. It made it a really fun story, and I am so excited to see certain scenes come to life on the screen. And I hope those scenes give me the same butterflies and feelings of joy that Julia's writings did. It was a lot of fun to read this. Now, when it comes to our characters, first up is Sophie, our female main character who I really enjoyed. Now, life really loved to knock her down and remind her of her so called station in life. Now, she grew up in the Earl's household not as his recognized child, but rather his ward, even though everyone in that house knew she was his child. She had the privileges of being his ward, but without the protections of being his child, she didn't have necessarily the security and protections in place that a child of his would have. So she internalized it a lot. Life really loved to remind her that you are not this man's child. You are not recognized, so you do not have these protections. And because of that, it really affected her to where she is determined to so-called break the cycle so that any child of hers doesn't feel like she did growing up. And I really respect the hell out of her for that. Now, when it comes to Benedict, our male main character, I definitely enjoyed him. He's a very charming character who unfortunately struggles with a sense of identity because among the peerage, no one sees him as Benedict. He's either just one of the Bridgerton kids or even number two. No one sees him as a person, and that can really affect a person. So your heart feels for him. But in so many ways, I would just want to slap him upside the head because he does not recognize his privilege. And this is where sometimes I struggle with historical romances, is that he comes from a family that truly loves him. He comes from wealth. He is also a man who is not only the son, but also the brother to a titled peer. He has so much privilege that sometimes he cannot see past his own wants and needs and that privilege, which is why he cannot recognize or truly understand Sophie's reasonings as to why she doesn't want to be his mistress because of how it will affect her and any kids they have, and she doesn't want that for them. Thankfully, his mother slapped him upside the head, so he did get a wake-up call that I really wanted him to get. Overall, I really enjoyed him, the characters. They had some great chemistry, and it was a really fun read, and I can't wait to see this book come alive on the screen. Now, this book is currently available. I do recommend it, and I hope everyone has a good night and happy readings.